Well, welcome back from your drive. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Seemed like it was quite busy out there. Of course, still having the mapochos around is fantastic. Bit of a different thing to be doing. To be very honest with you, we're going to talk about the highlights just now. But since there's no rush, I was sitting a little bit earlier just before the guys got back from drive and thinking back to my first night with WildEarth, which literally started around a fire as well. First thing I did was pack a few stones together, made a fire, and just enjoyed being in the bushveld. And lo and behold, it's a year and a half, almost more later, and here we are around a fire again. And nice to be talking to you. Wherever you might be in the world, welcome around the WildEarth fire, and once again, welcome back from the drive. I'm sure lots more things to look forward to tomorrow. Just first of all, with regards to the highlights last week, this is our second time we're doing it. It really was fantastic seeing all the videos, all the effort that everyone put in. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Everyone here has enjoyed it, and I'm sure lots of us around the world enjoyed those as well. This would, of course, for the future, be archiving in a way, sort of your own special take on what we've seen during the week, and these will become part of memories that we'll look at a lot down the line. Also, of course, congratulations to Valerie, who was picked as the winner. Now, first of all, I want to get a little bit comfortable. The first time last week, the highlights were just very quick, and I'm going to try and take a bit more time this time, since there's no rush to go and drive after this. And unfortunately, we can't show you this, but behind the camera, where Alex is standing, Rexon and Jan is there as well. Mark is in the live control center. But the view I've got from here is the sickle moon, just busy rising. Look at that. Unfortunately, we can't show you. We might show you at the end. And looking forward to talking to you. My name is Peter, and without further ado, the highlights for the last week. Now, I've got a little note down here, but of course with the light we've got, very difficult to see. So I'm going to try and do most of it from memory. We had the Saturday a couple of small things. Marco showed us a few things regarding smoke as well with elephant dung. A bit of the stories and remedies and bushman stories about elephant dung. And also a fantastic sighting of a bush baby. Something as a tiny little animal that I'm sure all of us love whenever we see them. It was a really good sighting up close. And I remember I saw some of it from the live control center as well. Really an awesome bush baby sighting. Then that was the Saturday. Sunday, which was a really good day for us in many aspects. We hadn't seen lions for quite a while, and suddenly we saw lions. But not only that, we also saw new lions, lionesses we hadn't seen before at Trias Dam, and a great surprise just in that, the fact that we could look at them in such a beautiful space. But then Alex and Marco went back. A little bit later, they had a radio call saying that there was some buffalo heading that way, and they went back for another view, and this is when it really became interesting. The buffalo coming down to drink, absolutely amazing view. I was sitting in the control center and I was as excited as I'm sure Alex and Marco and you were, but the lionesses looking at the buffalo, fantastic view with the lionesses' ears in the foreground and the buffalo drinking. One of those buffalo seesaw, the buffalo bull that we've come to know, and also he's heard potentially we're part of a lot of action later in the week, which we'll get to in a little bit. But not only that, it got better. Lionesses were looking at the buffalo, and the next thing, they were suddenly very alert. They looked towards their right, a little bit towards the south, and they noticed something. A little bit of inspection from the game drive side, and there was some zebra that were approaching the waterhole. These lionesses instantly went into stalk mode, even though they were quite full. Their bellies certainly showed that they'd eaten in the last day or two. And just again, that sense of being a predator, a hunter, instantly taking over. And there was a lot of excitement. I'm sure lots of you, the same as us, were sitting on the edge of your seat. Even Alex was probably on the edge of his little camera seat, and almost saw a hunt. That will still happen, but not that time. A really, really exciting morning with those lionesses. Also the afternoon going back to them, even though they were still pretty much lazy. Let's do this a little bit, so we can get more light. Even though they were still very lazy, we could see that they, one of them at least, maybe even two, but definitely the one, had been suckling some youngsters. You could see it from looking at the mammary glands. She was lactating, and even though we didn't see them, and at this stage it is purely speculation as such, but a pretty sure one, that somewhere out there's some little lion cubs, and if we've seen the mothers, there's of course a chance that in the near future maybe we see the cubs. So another bit of exciting development on the lion front. Then let me just have a quick check again. That was Monday morning. I don't know why I forgot that one. Monday morning started off very exciting, very close to Gari Pan, which is literally just behind us. We're right at WildEarth Camp at the moment. Got very fresh drag marks from a leopard. You can see the tracks clearly in the dust of the road, dragging something at the stage. We didn't know what into the drainage line system just below Gowrie Waterhole, which is of course very thick, a lot of lush bush, and had to do a bit of trekking and walking around and even running around in there, and eventually found the leopard on foot. Unfortunately, he was quite skittish and disappeared. I just saw him jump once or twice and he was gone, and we didn't see him with the vehicle, but we went back and we saw the carcass. He killed a young bushbuck, and that brought a bit of hyena activity over the next day or two, but we never got to see that male. But of course, we're in Djuma here at Sabi Sands. It certainly is a good place for leopard, and even though we didn't see that one, that same morning, Monday morning, we also saw Mafufenjan, big male leopard that Rexon loves, one of his favorite cats, and that we hadn't seen for a while. And Mafufenjan was doing not much when we saw him. He was sleeping, being a very lazy, relaxed Sabi Sands leopard, lying in the grass and sleeping away. But a big male, close to Twin Dams. Monday evening, and this is where my memory is now catching up. I want to make sure I get the days right, but Monday, Tuesday, there we go.